What I think should be perfect is completely different. And I use myself as an example to illustrate that. It's completely different from what I see people doing out in the streets and out in the world.
No, I get that, but I think it's important to to determine where we're picking the culture up, because like even with your example about how marriage was presented on TV growing up, I would agree with you that it was presented very like happy and all of that. But to me, not even just my upbringing with my parents. I mean, I have friends whose parents were married. Like there were married couples all around me growing up. And I think many of us would probably agree that what we saw on TV didn't necessarily match what any of us were experiencing as a community. Like not that there were bad marriages, but it just didn't quite look like the Cosbys, the Huxtables.
But
So
that's what
if
mines look like.
But that, but the
But
thing
that's what
is,
I'm
Carrie.
saying. I'm saying we have to. But that's what I'm saying. If you're speaking to, excuse me, the culture that was on TV
No, 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 no,
versus
no,
the
no, no.
culture that
I'm saying the culture that I see today is different from even on TV from what I seen in yesteryear. The
Yeah, because
presentation of what it was in
say that
yesteryear,
again. The
the
culture you
the
see.
culture that I see today is different from what the culture is that I see in yesteryear. So, for example, if I
I would agree with
compare
that.
the Cosby Show to what I see today in reality shows, it's two different cultures.
I agree with you on that. We don't even. I agree
But
with you on
that's
that.
why I asked you about the extremes because
but
Slimmy
but
brought
the
up the.
but
Go
well,
ahead.
but the only thing is though, the culture on TV started to change because then you had shows like Rock, and you had Love and Marriage, the Al Bundy. Those were toxic.
They were, they were,
Rock,
they were.
Roseanne,
Yep,
Roseanne,
they
toxic.
were. You are
Everything
Well,
started to
100%
become
I
right.
love
toxic.
Roseanne. Oh my god.
You are
As everything started to
100%
become
correct,
toxic,
Slimmy.
everything started to become toxic as the culture changed.
Correct.
It
You are,
used to be
but
perfect.
that's
It
the
used to be
perfect
perfect.
example.
It used to be perfect, and then everything just started changing. It got away from the Cosbys because then you started to see Rock, whereas he was a dude who was actually had a really good job, and their whole family was struggling. Where you had Al Bundy, who was just a salesman, and he was living
Yeah, but
perfectly
all
fine
those
in
shows were on around the
toxicity.
same time.
Al Bundy was a
No,
shoe salesman.
yeah, he was a shoe salesman that made a living and never had a problem. He never had a problem. And all he did was argue with his wife. That was toxic. But that dude never struggled. He never cared about nothing. All he did was complain and argue and think about his old football games. He didn't care about what job he had. He just knew he was gonna sell some damn shoes, talk shit to his neighbors, and go to the damn nudie bar. That was it. It just started getting toxic, man. It was a totally different feel. Roseanne, that shit was toxic.
It was.
Roseanne was not
I
DJ,
nah, I
toxic.
love Roseanne. You not
Roseanne
Oh
was
no.
no
not
no no no
toxic.
no no
No,
no
no,
no.
What are
Slimmy
you
is
man.
talking
not.
about?
Wait a
just
Slimmy is
because
minute.
they
No, it
was cold white
wasn't.
trash
Roseanne
doesn't
wasn't
mean that they were
toxic.
toxic.
How was
He
Roseanne
was
toxic?
always fighting.
They
No, they
was.
Kings,
weren't.
Yes, they
Kings of
was.
You didn't watch
okay,
Rose. No,
Kings of
they weren't
Queens,
always fighting.
Kings of Queens is the bomb.
and
Listen,
it's
listen, listen.
toxic. It's
Slimmy, you're
toxic.
hopping.
How? I'm not hopping. I'm showing you the change that
I
everything changed gradually as
but half
relationships
of the
changed.
shows that you named till you said King of Queens were on around the same time. And Roseanne was not
No, no,
toxic.
no, 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 no. Okay, let's get this timeline together. First of all, you had the Jeffersons and shit like that, right?
The Cosbys were not on when
Yeah, you had the
they were in
Jeffersons.
syndication. They
Yeah,
were in
you had that shit
syndication. They were
like that.
not on when uh
I'm talking about the
Married with
shows you
Children and
named,
Rock.
No, no,
Slimmy.
no, no. I'm going through this. And then you start having the
Yeah, but that's after the
Cosbys.
Cosbys.
You start having the Cosbys and a different
Yeah.
world and all of that shit. Then you
And
started
then
having. Then you start having the Al
Rock.
Bundys and the Rocks and all of that
Yeah.
stuff. And then you start having the Martins and the Living Single, and then it started evolving past that. Then you
Yeah.
started evolving into the real world era where it was just like fuck everything, fuck everybody, and let's just have a good time. Real world road rules, you know what I'm saying? All of that type of shit. And then it started evolving into the sassy shit. You start seeing them inserting um gay relationships into every single thing. And then it started to get into, nowadays you starting to get into blackish and all of that type of stuff where, women is trying to figure out their relationships and their lives and sleeping with multiple men and Sex in the City, that shit hit. Sex in the Hit City and
But
all
you
that.
had,
That
but
was a
hold
big
on, you
deal.
had that in, you had that, because I told you I go with old people, and I watch a lot of those the older movies, and you had things like Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. You had things like Andy Griffin Show. Like I can talk, and this is black and white. There's tons of quote unquote things that I guess you would consider toxic, because on the Andy Griffin Show you had you had the mother-in-law and all this other stuff. So I mean, what do you guys consider toxic?
But I consider
Because
toxic.
that's going through every generation.
No, no, listen. Toxicity existed, but toxicity didn't exist to the extent that it exists now. No way, no
Yeah.
how. It is gradually
No,
become way worse than it's ever been. I don't even know if we can
The
think of.
7 year itch.
Hold on, wait, wait, wait. I
no,
don't
I
even
agree
know if
with
you can
that.
think.
But
I
let
don't
me
know if
say
you can think
Rock
of one
and Married with
couple
Children.
or one show that you
What's
can
wrong with me
think
saying
of.
that?
I don't know if you can think of one couple or one show today that you can think
Hmm.
of that's like, man, that is a healthy ass relationship. Not
Wait,
one.
Carrie, you don't think Married with Children was toxic?
No, Married with Children was hilarious.
But it was toxic because you had the bimbo daughter that dated around. You had the son that jacked off in
Who?
his room and couldn't get no girls. You had the fact that they never actually had a good relationship as far as
How
like
did they
Yeah,
never have a good?
hold on, I'm
Okay, let's
he
explaining.
define.
always
Okay,
wanted
go ahead.
I'm
Carrie.
Go ahead.
explaining. I'm explaining.
He wanted to
Al
stay away from
Bundy
his wife.
hated his wife.
Yeah.
He hated going home to her.
Cause she nagged.
He
No,
hated going home
period.
to her.
No, I don't think period. I think cause he nagged. She nagged.
No,
She
he
always
hated
wanted
going
money
home
for
to
something.
her in general.
Why you think he'd be at the nudie bar? Why you think he was started the He-Man? Then they start the He-Man the what's the
No
no
ma'am.
man
No
club.
ma'am. No ma'am.
No man,
Yeah, the
yeah.
No
That's why
Man
they started
Club.
that stuff.
Yeah.
He hated his
I
wife.
don't
He
know what
hated
He
Carrie
did
was
kids.
not
watching,
hate.
No,
He
he
did
did not.
not
He didn't hate
hate
her.
his wife. I think that was where part of the comedy of the show even came from,
no,
because they
he
also had moments where they clearly were a married couple who
Were
loved one
Oh,
another.
few and
Al.
far
And who's
between.
watching married? Who's okay? So can we define toxic then?
Hold
Back
on, hold
to
on, Carrie,
Mika's
Carrie,
question.
Carrie. The whole premise of the show was that his life was ruined as a result of getting married, but he endured through it in order to stay with her,
Married with
but he
children.
wasn't happy the whole time that he was with her, and so he had to live his dreams back through his past of Polk High. And every single scene was, oh my god, Peg. Oh, and then he would crack jokes about how, you got big head, your hair is big, and you got all of the spray, and but I'm gonna endure through this fucking, I'm gonna just be here because I'm here. That's the whole lot. That is toxic as fuck. It wasn't nothing. Listen, if I had to
I
be in
guess
that
I
type of
wouldn't
shit,
label
I
it
don't want to be a
toxic
part
because
of
I
it.
wasn't watching it to get an example of how to be in a marriage. I was watching it for the
But
entertainment
it
of the
you
show.
didn't
So
know
maybe
why you
that's
was
why.
watching it. You didn't know why you was
No, I
watching.
do
You
know
was
why I was watching. It was
people
funny.
people were watching it for the entertainment, but what is the messages that is subconsciously being put into people's minds? That's what TV and influence and music is. It
Yeah.
subconsciously influences how you
That's
look
not
at
what it
life.
is. It can do that, but that's not
No,
what it
it doesn't.
is.
It
No, it
No,
absolutely
no, no.
can.
doesn't.
That's
No, I
no
said
Carrie.
that's what it can do, but that's not what it is. Music and TV is not that, but it can do that.
No,
And
it
I get
is
it.
that.
No,
It
it's
It
could have
called television
implanted something in
programming.
somebody's head. You're
Carrie,
right.
are
Yeah.
you
Somebody could
telling
have
me
watched
that
Married with Children
are
and
you
been
telling
like,
me
this is
that
how I'm
that
supposed to be.
you telling me that TV and the programs that we watch did not 100% absolutely influence and impact people from a cultural perspective of how it is that they looked at relationships in life?
Did not 100%. No,
I don't
no,
know nobody that didn't want to be on
no,
Real World.
no.
I
I
wanted
didn't
to
want to
be
be
on
on Real World.
Cribs.
Carrie,
I
Carrie,
don't
it's
know
called
nobody that didn't want to
programming.
be on Real World, and,
I
or
wanted to be
imagine
on
how they would
Cribs.
deal with a situation if they was on Real World.
Anton, you,
I didn't see
I'm,
where it
you're
was.
jumping. I don't really understand the
I'm
connection with
saying
that,
that
but
everything that we watch influences us and impacts us
it
subconsciously or
can,
consciously.
it can.
No,
Well,
it
you're hopping
does.
first. No, Anton. First, you said music and and TV is that. It is that. Then I
It
said
is.
no.
It is.
I said it's not that, but it can cause that. It can influence. It can implant something subliminally. It can. I
No,
get that.
Carrie.
And then
That's
you
what
ask
it's
me, do I
for.
think, hold on. Then you ask me, do I think it 100% impacts the I forget exactly how you worded it. You know what you said, but you said 100%. I said, no, I don't think it's 100% at all. Is there influence? Absolutely. Like, I get that. I'm not disputing that. But no, I don't think that everybody who watches anything on TV is 100% influenced by whatever they're watching. I
But
don't agree
we're
I
with
not
think
that.
saying
maybe I
that.
think maybe Anton
But
is
the whole
saying
purpose, the whole
the intent is to program you.
yeah,
Now
it's
you
it's
might be
called
strong
television
enough
programming.
you might be strong enough to resist the programming.
You don't know that
But
you're
I'm not
being
talking about
influenced and
intention. I'm talking
programmed.
about what he just said.
You
I'm not
don't
talking
Yeah,
about
know. That's why I
intention.
said consciously and subconsciously. You're watching
I
it
know
for the
all about that.
you're watching it for the entertainment. You don't know that you're being influenced and programmed.
Yeah,
It's happening regardless of whether you want it to or not, because that's what you're watching and that's what you're taking in on a regular basis.
yeah.
Everything that we say,
It's
how
all
we talk,
programming. It's all for a reason.
how we
Even
walk, the clothes that we wear, how
You're
we view.
mixing stuff. First, you're Slimmy. You're saying it's all for a reason. I'm not talking about the intention. Maybe the people who wrote "Married with Children" were intending to brainwash the whole world so that nobody got married. Fine, that could be their intention, and maybe it worked on some people. But to just make a blanket statement that music, TV, if you listen to it and you watch it, 100% of whatever the intent is behind the song and the show is going to actually come to fruition. I think that that's a
You
big
being
statement to
extreme,
make.
Carrie. You're being
no,
extreme.
that's an
Anton,
Hold
extreme.
you
on,
were
hold on,
extreme.
no, no, no,
I'm
no,
dealing with
no,
your
no, 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 no.
extreme. You
You're
said
being extreme
100%.
because
Nobody said that.
you're saying that
He
it's
did say that.
100%.
He actually
You're
he
no,
did
I
say
did not. I didn't
100%.
say it's going to 100% come to fruition. I said that it is going
You,
to 100% influence you subconsciously or consciously. To influence somebody is 100% different from saying that it's going to come to fruition. You're painting it like I'm saying, "Oh, you're going to become the exact thing that you're going to watch." I'm saying that everything you take in influences you into looking at life, even changing the way that you talk, walk, wear stuff, all of that, it 100% influences you.
Okay,
Influence and
let's do this. So when you say cuz maybe we're playing with words here. So when you say everything that you take in, are you saying anything that you watch is what you take in, or are you saying of the things you watch, whatever you take in will influence you? I can agree with
yes,
that. Whatever you
yes,
actually take in, but it doesn't mean that everything you watch you will take it in. Is that Would you agree with that?
that's correct.
Okay, all right.
But
See, clarity is good.
I believe that influence is just that. It's influence. I don't believe that it absolutely 100% is going to come. I don't think that just because you listen to a song talking about killing niggas that you're going to automatically go out and kill a nigga. But I do think that you
But
then
it's
get.
more than just it's more than just that, right? You gotta it's a psychology to it. So you got the visual, you got the audio, and you got the emotional, like how it makes you feel. Like that's why in a in a in a movie, before the part even comes up, you hear a certain sound because it invokes a feeling out of you, and then
Yeah, I
you
can
see
still
something,
remember a
and then you hear
song.
something, so it's influencing all of that is influencing how you're going to feel about this scene.
Yeah, I done seen, I done been at concerts where motherfuckers and bust out crying when a certain song come
Hmm.
on and shit. Cause it reminds them of a time or it influences or it impacts them at a time and it jogs a certain feeling out of them from when they
Yeah,
first heard it in that song. You know what I'm saying? It's people
yeah.
that can't even look
I
at
agree
certain
with that.
songs. It's people that can't look at
You learn
certain
Music
you learn
scenes
that
certain
in
in
songs do
movies.
that
music
to
when you do
me.
instrumentation. Like when I was in band, we used to learn that how to invoke an emotion and how you write a score and things like that. It's all psychology. It is. So
Yeah, I
I get
know.
what
I
Anton.
know motherfuckers that crashed out because they listen to Lil Wayne and Drake's YOLO. Like, nigga, dog, you need to get your life together. You need to go to school. You not drinking Lil Wayne, homie. I know niggas that started sipping lean. Like, nigga, y'all didn't even know nothing about lean until the rappers started talking about it. Niggas started sipping lean. All of a sudden, niggas knew Molly and Percocet. Like, stop, nigga, you ain't know nothing about no Molly. And that shit just hit. That shit is a wave.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a psychology behind it, but everybody is not influenced by it. So I get what you're saying, Carrie, because everybody's not influenced by it, but the intent is to influence. And even though you may not, be influenced by something, you heard it.
Yeah, I'm
And
not
most of
what
and
you
most of the
guys
things
are
that you
what
intake
you
is
what
in the
y'all are talking
subconscious.
about. I don't disagree that that doesn't
Right.
happen. Remember, this was brought up about Married with Children
Yeah.
and about rock. This was brought up when we were over in that space, and then Anton in my I misunderstood what he meant when he said the 100%. So I misunderstood you. It seemed like he was making an extreme statement. I understand what y'all are saying. So um I still haven't heard Slimmy say how Roseanne was toxic though, but we can table that for another day.
No, I said because our kids didn't listen to her. They ain't never
Slimmy
listened to
more
her.
time than not fails to substantiate his argument.
That's cap. You don't substantiate your
Let me
argument, nigga.
don't
You
fall
just you
don't
just
fall
crash out.
for it.
You just crash out. You can't talk.
Quintavious is over there trying to start
All you gonna
trouble.
do is crash. All you gonna do is crash.
No, I mean, if y'all do think about Roseanne, the single baby mama kids and shit,
She's not
kids
Yeah.
did
single baby
not
mom.
listen
She's
to
married.
the
Who?
kid.
Huh? Those
That
weren't those
you
weren't
talking
what's
about
his
when
name's
Jackie had a son?
kids.
Yeah,
Who
Jackie
you
had a
talking
Those weren't.
about?
son.
That was later on in the seasons. That was
So that
later.
that don't count.
I thought you was talking about
To make the
Roseanne
whole show
specifically.
toxic. No, they didn't make the whole show toxic.
Roseanne was about poor white trash trying to make
Yes,
it
poor white
in the
trash.
same way.
Yes.
I mean, if
No,
we
that's
just
what it
gonna
was
keep it
about.
100, let's just keep it 100.
She said that's on the show. She used to say, "Damn, we're officially poor white
I
trash."
know, I'm agreeing. Roseanne
Yeah.
was about poor white trash trying to figure this shit out the same way that they was trying to figure it out in the ghetto, and it resonated with a lot of people because a lot of people was going through that same shit.
A lot of
Yeah.
people are poor white.
That's really what it was.
Yeah. But them kids never listened to her. You on mute. You on mute, Carrie. You muted.
Good.
So that was toxic because they didn't have Quentin. That was toxic because they didn't have a lot of money.
Damn, man.
She called him the proper name. She said Quentin.
This nigga just ain't no good. He just, he just ain't no good, man.
Oh.
Oh gosh.
And
I've
you know
never
what the
seen
funny thing
Rock.
about it? You know what the funny thing about this whole thing is? Think about fuck, it came on after Al Bundy and shit.
Didn't Rock come on after
No,
Married with
no,
Children?
no.
No?
Married with Child. It was the
Was it The Simpsons?
no, it was
I never
Blanche.
seen it
It was
on air.
Blanche and them. Blanche and them.
Golden
Golden
Girls.
Girls.
Golden Girls. The Golden
Golden
When
Girls.
was this,
fucking
Anton?
girls
I
came
love
on.
Golden Girls.
See what I'm saying? I
Now,
knew.
hey, now wait a minute.